If you're a new travel agent, and maybe even if you're not a travel agent yet, you're probably wondering, how do I get clients? Or how will you get clients? And it's a really valid question, especially if you've never had a business before, and especially if you've never had an online business before, or if you've had an online business and you had a really bad experience with it. I will be talking about in a future episode how you can get clients without social media, so definitely stay tuned for that. But actually, this episode will have some of those strategies. The advice I have for a travel agent who's getting their first 3, 5, or 10 clients is very different than a travel agent who has been at this for 1 to 2 years. They already have an established niche and brand, and they're really looking to scale up to the next level. So if you are that second travel agent that I just mentioned, my advice for you is going to be a little bit different, and I do have content coming for that. But really, this podcast and playlist, if you're watching on YouTube, is really centered towards those newbies and people who haven't had the success they want to see yet. So this is to help you get your first few clients or your first client. Are you ready? I always want to start this off by saying it's very simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Easy and simple are two completely different things. Simple means the process is very easy to understand and there aren't that many steps. Easy means it's not going to take effort, and I'm sorry, it's going to take effort. That's anything. Anyone who tells you that you can grow any kind of business without time, money, energy, and effort is lying to you. I don't know how else to say that. And if they try to promise something like stress-free marketing or completely automated, make money while you sleep and never work again, like those things, they're marketing messages that work because it's something we all want to hear. I mean, I want that too, right? I want clients to just come to me with absolutely no effort on my part. Who wouldn't want that? But that's not realistic. It's not real life. So I'm going to be sharing some ways that you're probably going to hear, and you've probably heard me say this to you before, especially if you're one of the agents I mentor, and you're probably going to say, well, I'm not hearing anything new. Well, good. If you hear something that you already know deep down secretly that you have to do or that you have to keep doing, maybe it's something that you used to do when you were at the beginning, but you stopped doing it because it was uncomfortable, or because you felt like you weren't good enough yet, or because you didn't quote unquote see the fruit from it, or it wasn't working. Many of these strategies take honestly 90 days to 6 months to work. And this is why I usually tell future travel agents and newbie travel agents, give it a year, honestly. Mentally prepare yourself to be creating content, making connections, networking, and actively seeking clients for a year. Will it always take that long? No. You can have clients in as little as 2 weeks, I've seen it, or in 3 to 4 months, and start getting a nice client roster. The great thing is though, once you have your first few clients, it really does snowball. I know we've said that a lot on this podcast already, but it's true. You don't need to have 100 clients really as a travel agent. And if you do, that's great. But honestly, you could have like 20 to 30 well-paying clients who travel multiple times per year, who come to you time and time again, and you'll have a really great client base. But it all starts with that first one. The first one is always the hardest. It's always the most scary. And you do have to do the most effort and work at the beginning to get it. But once you get that snowball effect, it really does work wonders for you. So here are the few things that you should do if you want to get your first client fast, okay? First thing I would do, I would make an announcement on every single social media platform I have, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I would use every single channel that platform has. So on Facebook, I would announce it in a post. I would announce it on my stories. I would go live and announce it. Maybe if you have some time and strategy, I would even tell people, hey, in a week from today, I'm going to go live and make a big announcement, tease it, get them interested, invite them to the live, right? And I would make a list of 100 people. I know, also not super fun, but you're going to make a list of 100 people. Your friends, your family members, people you know who travel, people in the clubs that you go to, people at the PTA you volunteer with, the other parents at the drop off and pick up at school, all of these different places. I want you to get really creative, and I want you to make a list of at least 100 people. These are what we call prospects. They're not quite leads yet. Leads are people who might be future clients, or maybe they're even past clients. They're people who are interested in buying your products and services, in this case as a travel agent and booking travel with you, but they're not leads yet because we don't know if they're interested. They're prospects. They could possibly be interested, but we don't know yet because we need to ask them. And I know that is super uncomfortable. Most of you are going to hear that and you're going to stop this right there. I'm not willing to do it. Well, I will tell you there are other ways, but most of the time, most people will not have success with them. You could run ads if you have money and if you know how to run ads, but most of you probably don't have a lot of money to spend. You need to make money, right? So I would make a list of 100 people and I would personally reach out to those people. If you can, meet with them them in person. That's another thing, again, that most people aren't willing to do. But I promise you, if you do the things that others are not willing to do, you will have the results that others will not have. So reach out to people personally. 100 people. Make a list. You're going to reach out to each of those people personally. And I don't just mean a copy and paste message either. That is another reason that so many people, when they hear things like online business, they automatically go, nope, not for me. That sounds very MLM-y. That sounds very much like multi-level marketing. I don't want to do that. Honestly, I don't hate the multi-level marketing business model. I think there's a lot of great things about it. I'm talking about what other people think and what you might even think. But the thing is, you're not going to come off like that. You're not going to come off like a quote unquote slimy salesman, because you are going to reach out to them personally and authentically. And this is why I said in person, if possible. There are some ways to scale this. And by scale this, I mean to talk to many people at one time. But I'm telling you, most people are not willing to reach out to people personally and to connect with them and listen to them and talk with them. So if you're willing to do that, you're already ahead of the game. And honestly, at the end of the day, what we're doing is sales. And I hate to say it like that. I say that word and people already have all these thoughts, but what do you want more of? If you're in any kind of business, you need more sales, you need money, right? The skill of sales is connecting with people personally, understanding their problems and pain points, listening, and then creating solutions for them. And though travel can often seem like a luxurious thing, it is meeting a legit need. And you're going to have to sit there and think about, again, what is your niche? What are you focusing on? How can you position that as actually meeting a need? How does it meet an actual need? I don't want you to lie. I want you to be genuine. When I think about how we have an epidemic of loneliness in this world, I see my group trips as solving a legitimate problem. I'm helping people make lifelong friends. I'm helping people make connections, not only to beautiful places, but to each other. That is a unique gift I think I have to create community. So you're going to have to take some time and reflect on what that is for you. You can start with your basic niche. Okay, this is not where we always end up. And there are people out there who will say this is not where you want to stay. I understand where they're coming from, because you do want to go deeper, but you just need to start. You need a starting point. So you need to know what you're focusing on. You need to know what your niche is. Now, if you are at the baby beginning phases, you might not know what your niche is, and you might not even know what you like and what you believe about travel yet. So you might need to make a few bookings, have a few clients to see who do you enjoy working with, what kind of travel do you enjoy planning and booking, and that's okay. So ideally, you'll know your niche, or at least an idea of what you'd like to try booking. You would have done some trainings to know, do you have at least one cruise partner under your belt? Do you have at least one booking partner where you can do all-inclusive flights and things like that? Do you have at least one tour company that you really like what they're offering? Do you at least have an idea of the region of the world you want to focus on? These are things to think about. We're not going too deep into niche today, but it is good to be thinking about these things even before you become a travel agent. What do you really know? What do you really love? What do you want to focus on? What do you want to share with other people? You're going to make a list of 100 people. You're going to personally connect with them, reach out to them, and if you can, meet them in person. If you can't, here are some options for you. You can send them a text message. You can send them an email. You can send them a message over Facebook Messenger. I think many times we really overcomplicate this. You don't. Just use the tools that you have. You don't have to go learn a new social media platform yet. In fact, I would rather you not do that. I would rather you get your first 10 clients using what you already know. Remove as many barriers as possible to creating content and to creating connections. Honestly, it is so easy to get caught up in things that don't matter. Many people, they'll hear me say, go make some reels to get yourself out there, and then they just focus on getting really good at making reels. And I think that's a waste of time. At the end of the day, your clients are going to come from personal connections and authentic outreach. So do that first. Now, your first client, it's going to be a slog, right? You're going to have to talk to people, and people might even say, oh, I don't know, or I'm not booking anything yet. That's okay. This is what you're going to do. When you reach out to somebody, you're going to say just really casually, hey, Martha, oh my gosh, it's been so long since we talked. Hey, I'm just reaching out to you to let you know that I just got certified as a travel agent. I'm so excited about this. Are you going to be traveling anywhere soon? Now, a few things can happen. Either they're going to ignore you, which could happen, or they'll block you, which would be sad, but it could happen. Or they're going to say, no, not right now. And if they say that, then you say, okay, I totally understand. Hey, when you are ready to travel, keep me in mind. I'd love to help you. By the way, do you know anybody else who travels often or that is planning a trip right now? That is the magic follow-up question, because now they're going to keep you in mind for the future. And if they do know anybody who travels often, they can go ahead and give you their contact information. If they say yes, be like, great, can you connect us? I'm saying this like this is a phone. Can you connect us, or can you put us in a three-way chat together, or can you give me their email and I will reach out to them? They might not feel comfortable putting you both in a three-way chat, but they might give you their contact information, okay? Or they might give you their Instagram or some kind of public public facing thing. Take what you can get. That person just gave you another prospect. And you could even ask them as another follow-up question, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Do you know anybody else who might be interested? They might say yes or no. They might give you another contact. Once they say no, or I don't know anybody, just say, okay, well, I would really appreciate it if you keep me in mind for future trips. And if someone else is looking to travel, would you mind sending them my way? Because some people might not feel comfortable giving you their friend or family member's contact info, but they might keep yours and give it to the other person later. Okay, so that's already really great. And honestly, if you just start there, you could stop this video and go do it, and I would be happy because you'd be getting results. And by the way, if you do this, because I have a feeling, sadly, most people who are going to watch and listen to this, they're going to say, that's great. They're not going to do it. They will not do it. And this is what I think every single travel agent should do starting out. Every single one. Doesn't matter your niche. And honestly, if you haven't had bookings in a while, this is what you should do. Back to basics. Okay, so you probably won't do it. If you do it though, let me know. You can either send me a DM on Instagram over at Travel Agent Haven, or you can just comment right here on the video if you're watching on YouTube, because I would love to know how it went. Give yourself time. It's going to take some time to reach out to 100 people personally. It is a lot of work. So I would have my announcement posts on every single social media platform I own. I would make it through every single channel the platform allows. I would make a list of 100 prospects. I would reach out to each and every single one of those prospects, also asking them, they might say yes, and if so, then great, you have a client, you can start booking for them. Or I have a contact from each of those and I just add them to the list. Add them to the list, that list grows. You do that, you will already be well on your way to getting your first client or your next client. But here are some other ideas for you. You can go to networking events. So many people focus on social media marketing for networking, but there's nothing like old-fashioned in-person networking. You can go to a local event in your own town or city. You can go to a trade show. They often have designated times and spaces for these. But this, I would say, is a secondary strategy. Do the 100 leads first. No one is excused from that. Everybody has to do that, okay? So this is a secondary thing if you want to do more. Put yourself out there. And also, there's something to be said about practicing saying that you're a travel agent. Like, oh yeah, I'm a travel agent, or I'm a cruise specialist. Honestly, the first few times you say these things, you're gonna feel a little cringy. You're gonna feel a little like, am I an imposter? Am I really a specialist? Am I really an expert? Do I have the right to say these things? You just have to keep saying it over and over and over and over again. And it might take a while before you feel really confident, but so much of sales is confidence. Think about it. If someone is planning a $6,000 trip to Alaska and you're saying you're a travel agent, but you don't really seem confident, are they going to book with you? No. So you need to exude confidence, and that confidence can come from what you know about the place. It can come from all the training you've done, and of course, be honest, but speak to what you have. If you've never booked travel for a client before because you haven't had a client yet, you can say, well, I've been to Alaska 2 times. I've been on 60 cruises. I have done every single training there is on Alaska, and I feel confident I can help you. Just lean into whatever you have, because there are things you can control. You can control your work ethic. You can control your effort. You can control what you know, and you can control how many people you reach out to. And those are the things we're going to focus on. We're not going to focus on what we don't have, just what we can do. And then of course, referrals. I already kind of mentioned this one with reaching out to your first 100 prospects, but in the post you actually make, you can ask, hey, do you mind tagging someone who's planning a trip right now? Or would you mind telling me the name of someone who travels often? Or could you tag somebody below who would be interested? Those are all different calls to action. And now we're getting kind of into social media marketing, but those are all different types of things that you can say that would evoke a certain response that you're really looking for. Either they're going to book with you themselves, they're going to tell their friends about you, or they're going to tell your friends to just come right to you by tagging them or by sharing the post, okay? So of course, think of how you can make the post appealing. Can you put a picture of you traveling? That's going to help build yourself as an authority. Oh, this person travels. They know what they're talking about. Don't just say, hey, I'm a travel agent, book with me. That's boring. That's going to read like an ad. Talk about why you became a travel agent. Talk about why you love to travel so much, or what is it about a certain place. I just helped someone get started as a travel agent, and she's really focused on Italy right now. And so we're working on getting her business up and running. And she knows so much about Italy. In fact, when she shared her website with the rest of the team, they were like, this is an amazing resource. Yeah, you know a lot. If you're even thinking about becoming a travel agent, it's for a reason, right? There's something inside of you that's saying this is what you're meant to do. Listen to that, follow it, own your expertise. Even if you feel like you're not an expert, being an enthusiast is great too. What are you really passionate about? What gets you excited? I'm fired up about this, about helping people become travel agents. I really do believe that I want to help everybody in the world see more of the world, and this is one way to do it. Okay, by becoming a travel agent. What is that for you when it comes to travel? What is the place that you think everybody should see? What is one thing everybody should do before they die? Okay, Think about that and get excited about that and live in that passion and fire when you're making your announcement, when you're making your content, when you're talking to people one-on-one, and go a little bit above and beyond, okay? Don't just send boring messages in Facebook Messenger. Send a voice note. Send them a little video message so they can see your excitement. Of course, being in person is best, but if you can't, try to emulate that as much as possible when you're networking, when you're talking to people online. In the future, we will definitely talk about how you can get your first client or your next few clients with social media, but honestly, everybody should start here and everybody should go back to basics if they're trying to get more clients. I'm doing it too for myself. I still lead trips. I still book trips as a travel agent myself. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Pack Your Passport podcast. I really hope you loved it. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you can get more tips to help you grow as a travel agent and become a successful one. And go ahead and hit that little bell if you're on YouTube so you never miss notifications of when a new video is posted. If you're watching or listening on a traditional podcast app, then go ahead and follow and subscribe in your favorite podcast player so you can be notified of new episodes. If you have any questions for us or anything you'd like to share in response to this episode, you can drop them right here in the comments if you're watching or listening on YouTube. And if you're not watching or listening on YouTube, send us a DM on Instagram over at Travel Agent Haven if it's something maybe a little more personal that you don't want for people to see. We also share all kinds of tips on our Instagram account, especially ways that you can travel as an agent, because there are so many opportunities out there for us, including fam trips, which I love talking about, and we have more about that coming on our YouTube channel soon. Thanks again for watching and listening. Have a good one.